Hi peeps, we are back. We are talking Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 18. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. This episode starts off with Puppy and Amber. Puppy and Amber went back to Amber's house where Queen was there because, Queen is Amber's roommate. And they talk about the situation, following Eric. And Queen was just real. That's one of the things I like about Queen. She is your friend. She's going to be honest. She's not going to pull any punches. And she's not trying to hurt you. She's just trying to deliver the facts. She says, why do you think that he is to sign these divorce papers? And she says, well, he doesn't want to lose his house. And Queen says, no, he doesn't want to lose his wife. You are the side chick. Well, she called her the side bitch. And you need to realize this. What is going on with you? Why do you think that this divorce is taking so long? And, she says, well, I love him. And, sometimes I just let things slide. And I'm paraphrasing. And Amber says, well, it's been 2 years. And, even though it does sound harsh and it can be hurtful, it's the truth. He's not holding off this divorce because he's afraid of losing this house. He's holding off this divorce because he wants to keep his marriage. But he also wants to have his little side piece on the side. And that to me is just a no-go. Where she doesn't know what she wants to do. What is she going to do? What is she going to say? She's pregnant. And then they talk about if she's going to keep the baby or if she's going to have an abortion. I just hope that she does what's right for her and her baby. I did see somewhere online where Eric was responding to some comments. People were saying that he possibly beats her. And, he was very adamant in saying that he never physically puts hands on her. And that he is also not a drug dealer. People were saying that he possibly deals drugs. He says that he owns his own trucking company. It's possibly true. It's possible that he does own his own trucking company. It's also possible that he does not put his hands on Puppy. It just seems to be coming off as possibly he might be verbally and physically violent with her. I'm not sure if he is. I certainly hope that he's not. I am not saying that he is. So all of this is just alleged in my opinion. But I think that Puppy needs to make some decisions. She needs to start standing on her own 2 feet. So I do not like the way he speaks to her. And sometimes when he talks to her, I'm thinking, wow, this is how you communicate with this woman on TV. How do you communicate with her when the cameras are gone? There was a section where Amber was trying to reach out to Eric's wife on Facebook. And I thought, don't do that. Don't pull his wife into this BS. I don't want to see Eric's wife, Heather, be pitted against Amber. And I don't want to see Amber pitted against Heather. Don't bring conflict for both of these women because of this guy. Both Heather and Amber deserve to be happy. They both deserve to be in healthy, happy relationships. And definitely due to the fact that both of these ladies have Eric's child or children. Heather needs to protect herself and her children. Amber needs to protect herself and her child that she's carrying. You cannot keep playing this game with Eric. He can't be with the both of you. I don't see Heather being sister wives with you. You know what I mean? This is not okay. Later in the episode, she goes back to her house and Eric is there and he is not okay with her and Amber following him. He is not okay with her telling Amber all of their business. To him, that is crossing the line of their relationship. And I just want to say, is this an Airbnb that they are staying in? Because there's always luggage all over the place and there's always just a whole bunch of mess. I don't think anything's cute about walking all over clothes, laying all over the top of the clothes in the bed, laying in the bed with your shoes on. None of that is nice. That's all gross to me. But anyway, she finally burst out to him that what is taking so long on this divorce? And he is being real passive aggressive, real gaslighty, and acting as if this divorce is out of his hands. And, he's done everything he can to reassure her, which is a bunch of bullshit and lies. That's a lie. You have not done everything you can to get a divorce. You have not done everything you can to reassure her. Puppy, pack up your shit and go home. This is getting to be ridiculous. She finally tells him that she is pregnant, and he says, no, you're not. Oh, there was nothing happy about it. Even when he walks out and she says she's not going to be there when he gets back, he comes back to double check. Are you sure you're pregnant? How do you know this? He looked devastated. And I think the reason he was devastated is because that man did not want to go back to his real home, to his real family, to his wife, and tell her that his side chick is pregnant. Honey, listen, I watched way too much Discovery ID and snapped. This is not a good situation. I'm just saying. Puppy, listen, girl. If you decide to keep this baby, your first thing that you need to do is to pack up your things and move. Go back home with your mom. Go see a doctor to check on your pregnancy. Sign up for some therapy and find yourself a job. You have got to learn how to be independent. You have got to learn how to stand up for yourself and be strong, because you do not know what is going to happen next with Eric. You cannot wait and depend on this man to take care of you. He has a wife and family. You have to be your first priority. Girl, listen, peeps, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Am I being too hard on Puppy? I just want Puppy to do better. She deserves better. She needs better. Heather deserves better. She needs better. This is just too much. Chaz and Branwen. So they start off the episode with Chaz in the bathroom brushing his teeth. And I said, that is so gross. Why do we have to see this? Anyway, he's in his hotel room upset. He is pissed off. Branwen gave him a little taste of that cat. And this dude has lost his mind, okay? He wants to spend every moment he can with his wife. He has prolonged this trip twice. And he is sitting in the hotel hoping and wishing and praying for a phone call, a text message, a smoke signal, an email, something. Honey, listen, she is not here for the bullshit. She does not want him. He ends up getting a text message from some lady named Tawny. Turns out that Tawny is Branwen's friend Courtney's girlfriend, and Tawny thinks that Branwen was giving up the goods to Courtney, which, honey, listen, this is just my opinion, but she probably was. Anyway, she texts Chaz and tells Chaz Branwen is back to her old ways. She is giving up the goods for $140 every half an hour. Chaz pulls up his laptop right away, okay? He pulls up her Backstage.com profile. I had never even heard of Backstage before. I don't know. It sounds like dark web kind of stuff, right? Anyway, he pulls it up. She's got this profile here saying that her 40-year-old ass is 28. I said, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. Okay, that's a big stretch. That's a big stretch. She's got new photos up. She's advertising, her goods. And Chaz is just an idiot. This dude is making up excuse after excuse. Maybe somebody else updated this page to cause trouble for her. Maybe it's one of her ex-boyfriends. Maybe it's a girl that's just jealous of Branwen. My wife is beautiful and she's always been honest to me. I have never had any reason to doubt Branwen. What? Chaz, listen, I am concerned with your mental health. Buddy, if you don't pack up your luggage and head back to Kentucky, get back to Kentucky ASAP. Okay, you need to sit down and have a conversation with a therapist and your sister. After that, call you an attorney and get an annulment. Okay, this girl, in my opinion, is not okay. Each episode, in my opinion, I don't have any experience with drugs. I don't mind saying that throughout my entire life, I have never taken any drugs. I have never smoked anything. I've never done anything because I have an addictive personality. And I know that if I try something, I'm going to be hooked. So, honey, I don't try anything. I just live high on my life, you know. But looking at Branwen every episode, I just feel as if she is on something. And that is my opinion. I have no proof of this, so it's alleged. But the way she can't hardly open her eyes, and I don't know if it's the heaviness of those ridiculous eyelashes, I'm not really sure. But girl, she just looks high. The slow speech, that I can't hold my head up, I can't keep my eyes open. It's like a slow nod or something. You know, I watch movies. Anyway, she ends up meeting her friend Jessica, who is messy as hell. She tells Jessica that her ex, YOLO, that's his name, YOLO, is out of jail, and she is all smiles. Oh, her eyes are wide open talking about YOLO. Oh, he wants to see her. Oh my gosh, they were together up until 2 years ago when he left her for some other woman. And now all of a sudden YOLO is out of jail. She's out of jail. And oh, he wants to see me. Girl, fuck YOLO. I'm just saying, in my opinion. Anyway, they show all these pictures of YOLO, and it's just like, girl, you are a 40-year-old woman now. This is what you into? This crowd says, we just want to hang out and do drugs. In my opinion, do I have any proof of that? No. But they just don't look like the most stable group of people to hang out with. I'm just saying, especially when you just got out of jail and you told us that you spent probably 11 or 12 years of your life in jail. And you have a daughter who's in her early 20s, which means half of her life you've spent in jail. And now all of a sudden, supposedly you want to live this better life. Why are you still hanging out with this group of people? Not a good look. Anyway, Jessica tells her that Tani has been texting Chaz, and she found out from her ex, Alan. I said, why do all these people keep hanging out with all these exes? What? Anyway, Branwen has the nerve to say that she is disappointed in Chaz. Why is he talking to Tani? She doesn't have anything to hide. She's not doing anything. Ma'am, $140 some every half an hour while you're doing some adult activities with strangers is nothing to hide. The fact that YOLO is out of jail and you are doing everything you can so you can get to him and spend some time with him is nothing to hide. The fact that you are possibly back on the drugs, nothing to hide. Girl, if you don't get the hell out of here, get the hell out of here. She's talking about she didn't know that Chaz was going to be so needy. Chaz is your husband who you don't want to have the sex with, but you will have it with a strange man or woman. Something is really weird about that. She is clearly just using Chaz. Chaz shows up at the restaurant to see her for a few minutes before class, because that's all the time she's going to give him is about 10 minutes. And she's had the nerve to have an attitude with him. Girl, bye. I'm so sick of this woman. She did say that she found out that Chaz was trying to break into her Gmail account, trying to get her email address. I don't blame him at all. Do I think that that's a good thing to do in a relationship? No. You know, if you have to come to this point where you are checking somebody's email, then this is a relationship that needs to be over. But do I blame him right now? No, he's trying to figure out what is his wife doing. Is she out here giving up the goods to strangers for money? I think the problem here is that Chaz believes that him and Branwen are in a traditional marriage and that she's his wife and she's going to remain faithful to him. But Branwen belongs to the streets. She is married to the streets, Chaz. And I think it's kind of nasty too that at the beginning when we first seen Chaz and Branwen, he bought her that cell phone and she's using that cell phone for her internet sexual business and to talk to all these exes. It just seems wrong in my opinion. I don't know. I believe in honesty and loyalty, and she's not giving any of that. She has time for everyone, just not Chaz and Sarah. All right now. Okay, honey, now listen. We finally saw the wedding, and now it's time for the reception. So they're having their first dance, and Kelly has had way too many drinks. Her face is looking sad and depressed. You can clearly see that she is in her feelings. She makes this comment that it could have been her and Sean up there. I did see in an interview where she said that at one point, you know, her and Sean were engaged, but she decided that they really didn't need to be married. I don't blame her for being in her feelings. You were with somebody for over 20 years. You had 6 children for this person, and I don't think any of them were twins. So that's 6 births that she went through. And you're not married to him. He's marrying somebody else. I can understand that hurt. I can also understand her wanting to be there for the children. However, I think that being at the wedding is one thing. Being at that reception is a whole nother thing. No, ma'am. I would have told the children, if you need me, I will be back at the hotel with the friend that she brought with her. Me and my friend would have went out somewhere and had a nice dinner, had a few glasses of wine, did some dancing, and headed back to the hotel. I don't have to be there for this reception. I don't need to watch all of this. I'm just saying. So they decided to use their wedding cake as a gender reveal cake. And it turns out that Sean and Sarah are having a little girl. At this point, out of Sean's 6 kids, he only has 1 daughter. So he has 5 sons and 1 daughter. Gracie loses it. Now she realizes that Sean is having a new daughter with Sarah, and now she's not going to be the baby girl anymore. I think that maybe Sean could have told Gracie when they had that conversation right before the wedding started that later on they would be having this gender reveal, and maybe she wouldn't have taken it, as hard as she did. I don't think that it was right for Kelly to run up on Sean with such an attitude about the gender reveal, and it's destroying Gracie. I think that if I was Kelly, I would have taken Gracie outside and tried to comfort her as much as I could on my own. If Sean was absolutely needed, I may have, sent someone in to just tap him on the shoulder nicely and say, hey, can you come out for a second? Gracie would like to speak to you, or something, as to not cause, a little bit of a scene at this wedding. I think with all of the things going on with Gracie and the younger children, that Kelly and Sean should possibly think about putting the kids in some sort of therapy. Sean has not been the best dad, and he is not making the best decisions, and these kids are hurting from him being such an absentee father. I thought that Sarah's mom was doing way too much. She starts screaming at Kelly and threatening to smack Kelly, and just saying that Kelly and her daughter is ruining Sarah's wedding. The person causing the most scene is Sarah's mom. And I'm thinking, lady, put on some shoes and have several seats. You are doing too much. You should be sitting off to the side somewhere dreaming about a deep condition and a haircut, instead of being over here causing all these problems. Sit down some daggone where. Screaming and hollering, talking about she'll smack a bitch. Girl, if you don't sit down. What I loved seeing the most is how Sarah handled this. Sarah was cordial. She showed empathy. She was very compassionate to the situation. She tried to explain to her mother, Gracie is his only daughter. And now she's finding out that he's having another daughter, that she's not the baby girl anymore, and she's upset about it. And, she can understand that. But her mom was not here for it, and I thought that was ridiculous. I do appreciate that Kelly did tell Sarah that she was sorry and that it's not about Sarah. It's not that they don't like her. It was just that Gracie flipped out about this. This could have been handled better. Kelly could have just gone outside and had a conversation and consoled Gracie. If she wasn't able to get Gracie calmed down, they could have just left. You know what I mean? They could have said their goodbyes and took Gracie back to the hotel and set something up so that Sean and Gracie could have a talk at a later moment. But I just think it was too daggone much. Later in the episode, we do see Destiny. Destiny gets to the hospital. Her soon-to-be ex-husband, Jason, is there. He's very supportive. She arrives at the hospital with her vape pen. Then it turns out that I think it's Braxton Hicks. She's not in labor. And they tell her that right now she's at a very crucial stage in the part of the pregnancy where the baby's lungs are developing, and that they definitely need the baby to stay in. You know, it's safer for her in there than out right now. And I'm thinking, if you are so concerned about this baby's lungs, why are you still vaping? That just irritates me. Put this child first. And then I remembered she's got 5 other kids that she does not have custody of. So I don't know. I have a feeling that Jason is going to end up with full custody of this baby, and she's going to be off to the next man. Jason is still in love with Destiny and still wants to be her husband. Poor thing. He needs some therapy too. Kevin and Tiffany. So Tiffany spends the night with Kevin, and I said, wait a minute. The night before, Kayla had spent the night, and now he's spending the night with Tiffany. I hope there are some condoms involved. Like, this just all seems nasty. Anyway, Tiffany is worried about his mom. She says, you know, your mom doesn't like me. And she makes this comment that moms are going to agree with their kids 100% even when they're wrong. And I disagree. No, ma'am. Good moms do not. Good moms will call their kids on the BS every single time. You are not about to sit here and think that I'm going to back you up when you are doing bullshit. That is a no-go. That's all I'm saying. So no, not all moms. And Darla is in the league of not one of us, if you know what I mean. She's not in the good mom squad because she clearly does not see that her son is full of shit. Tiffany says, why don't we go to church with her one Sunday? You know, she's trying to win brownie points with Kevin's mom. Oh, why? Because you and Kevin in this bullshit relationship is not legit. Girl, bye. I wouldn't be trying to kiss up to his mom, not a tiny bit. Anyway, her and Kevin get all dressed up. They're going to go out to meet some woman that they found on Tinder. They're auditioning a third for their relationship. I said, this relationship is not even a real relationship. You are not stable. You both lie. You both are doing other things. And you want to bring somebody else into this relationship? That just sounds ridiculous. So what I thought was stupid is when they go outside to get in the car, Kayla is out there. I said, Kayla, what are you doing out here in front of these people's house? And how did they not see her? How did you not see Kayla parked in front of your house? They pull off and go to this place. Kayla follows them. She's out there snapping pictures and watching the whole situation. And Kevin is spooked because he's getting the text messages. He knows that Kayla knows where he is, talking about she must have put a tracking device on his car. Really? She's right outside in front of the restaurant, not too far from you. If you look around real good, you jackass, you can see her parked out there. This is ridiculous. Kayla tells us that her and Kevin have been dating for 7 years. They have been on and off for 7 years, and that she would like to marry him, and it's time for him to make a choice. I said, Kayla, is this thing on? By this thing, I mean your brain. Is it on? Ma'am, he is not with you. He's just having sex with you. He is using you. The dude is on a date with his girlfriend and a third chick. You were not invited here. You are not a part of this. She's talking about she's going to give him an ultimatum. You can't give an ultimatum to an ex-boyfriend. They have a new girlfriend. This is ridiculous. You are being used. Girl, she even says, why is he auditioning pretty much other women to be a third in the relationship? He could have just asked her and she would have got in the threesome. I said, I need you to find your self-esteem somewhere. I need you to find your self-esteem, your self-worth, and value. Because listen to me, Kayla, in my opinion, is gorgeous. She is a beautiful girl. What is wrong with you? You can do better. Tiffany can do better. The dominatrix girl that they are having lunch with, she can do better. Everybody can do better. I can tell that Kayla is hurt. She wants to be with this man so bad, but it is not going to happen. He is not about to marry you. This is too much. Kevin runs off to the bathroom. He's acting like she calling her a bitch and all this stuff, but he's clearly scared. He is absolutely afraid that Kayla is going to run up on him and Tiffany. And not only is she scared that she's going to wild out and beat the hell out of Tiffany, he's also scared she might wild out and beat his ass. Listen, Tiny Tim, I think Tiffany would give Kayla a good fight, in my opinion. But I think they both should turn around and roundhouse kick his ass. I'm just saying. Kayla is delusional and you are chasing a man, literally. It's almost stalking. Please stop. And I noticed in Kayla's back seat that she has a car seat. Ma'am, do you have a baby? Because if you have a child, how do you have so much time to pop up on Kevin? No ma'am. No ma'am. You could have had your baby at a park making memories. No, making memories and plans for a better future that does not include Kevin. Go home and spend your time with your baby. And the fact that when he got on the phone with Kayla, he still tried to lie. Talking about he wasn't on a date. He was just there with Tiffany because they had some things they needed to discuss. And then when she says that she could approach them or walk up on them or something, he said, we grown. Are we grown, Tiny Tim? You are hiding in the bathroom. No, you are not grown. You chain smoke and drink coffee like a grown-up, but you're not grown. I tell you what, by the end of this season, there is no way anybody can tell me that we are not going to pop up and there's going to be an episode of Tiffany, Kayla, and Kevin in that bed. There is no way that that is not going to happen. My advice to both Kayla and Tiffany, break up with Kevin, get therapy, and move on with your lives. Deontay and Lindsay. So we see Lindsay going to see her attorney. She wants to find out what she's looking at. And it's so weird to me that she's on parole, but she has warrants out for her arrest. When you're on parole, you have to meet with your parole officer. They review all of your information. You would think that her parole officer would know that she has warrants out for her arrest and that her parole officer would arrest her when she came in for her visits. That just doesn't make sense to me. Her attorney tells her that she is looking at 30 years in prison. She would have to serve at least 25% of that 30 years, which would be 7.5 years. By that time, her daughter would be out of middle school, out of high school, and starting to go to college in 7.5 years. And she's already missed 6 years of her daughter's life. He tells her that if she gets pulled over or has interactions with the police, she is absolutely going to be arrested. So what she should do is turn herself in and post bond. If she posts bond, it's probably going to be about $15,000. Blaine says that he'll pay it. Now, I don't have any proof of this. I do know that current day, her and Blaine are a couple. They are together. Supposedly they are extremely happy. But just watching the two of them interact, I think that they're already having the sex. But I don't have any proof of that. I am also hearing allegedly Deontay has a baby on the way. I have no idea who this girl is, but she is beautiful. And I hope she is not a former inmate. I guess we'll just have to keep watching and find out. When she comes out of the lawyer's office, she gets a call from Deontay, and Deontay wants to know why she doesn't call him for days at a time. She explains to him that she now works for Blaine. She's got her daughter. She's busy. She can't be answering her phone at work. And he says, well, I see you posting on Facebook all the time. If you could post on Facebook, why can't you reach out to me? Because she is not really that into you, in my opinion. The whole time they are having this discussion, Blaine is cracking up. He is smirking. He is making all these comments. He says that Deontay tries to get in touch with her harder than a drug user tries to get in touch with their dealer. Deontay is out of his daggone mind. He is incredibly jealous. He says that he likes his women to be obsessive over him. That is your problem. That is your problem. No one should want their man or woman to be obsessive over them. That's how you get episodes of Snapped. Cut it. Anyway, I was happy to see that Deontay's friend Derek is back. Deontay tells Derek that she doesn't really call him. Sometimes she goes days without reaching out to him. And Derek says, Well, that says a lot. Like, put on your thinking caps. If she is living with this dude, working with this dude, she's probably having sex with this dude, especially if she doesn't have time to call you. What does your brain tell you right now? Deontay does not want to hear that. He says when he was in prison, she was calling him 5 or 6 times a day, that she had created a map of his town and knew exactly what streets he was on when he was riding through the town. And I said, well, she was in jail. When she's in jail, she doesn't have anything else to do but call you and draw maps and keep you on the hook so you'll keep putting money on her account. Buddy, get the hell up out of here. She's out now. She's living with Blaine, who is taking care of all of her needs. He has given her shelter. He has given her food. He has given her a job. And 9 times out of 10, he's given her the dig. I'm just saying. And can I also say that I Googled, how long does it take to get from Newport, Virginia to Corinth, Mississippi? That's a over 12-hour drive. It's over 800 miles. And gas prices are ridiculous. And this dude is driving back and forth for Lindsay. This is a no-go. Okay, Derek tells him he's going to get there and get into a fight with Blaine. He says, oh, you know, I don't start fights unless somebody starts a fight with me. Listen, Blaine wants Lindsay. I think Lindsay wants Blaine because Blaine is taking care of her. And Deontay wants Lindsay. You are going to be the odd man out. Deontay, you better grow the hell up and put on your thinking cap. And then get you some therapy also. Marcelino and Brittany. Now, honey, listen, I don't give a damn. This story is fake as hell. Amber is out here online hinting that that fight with her and Brittany was faked. And I believe it. I believe it, honey. This is all faked for the check. And WeTV thinks that they are doing something. No, you are boring the hell out of us is what you're doing. Please do not bring Marcelino and Brittany back ever again. All we see is Brittany, woe is me. I don't regret having this threesome. He's the one who messed it up by, you know, he got a little something new and he couldn't handle it. Oh, I'm so hurt. I'm so hurt. I'm desperate for our relationship. I don't know what's going to go on. Either we're going to make up and get back together or he's going to get out of this house. I have done everything right. Girl, you are not perfect. You have not done everything right. He has not done everything right. You had no business bringing this woman into this threesome. And let's not forget, just 2 episodes ago, you was laid up in bed with Shannon, pretending like there was no action when we know that there was, in my opinion. Bye, Brittany. We saw a little bit of Rey and Brittany. I think we TV people know that we are tired of Rey and Brittany too. We find out the wedding is 18 days away. We also find out that Brittany is gone $10,000 to $15,000 over the budget of this wedding because she is doing way too damn much. But that is Brittany, and this is her wedding and her money, so she should be able to have whatever the hell it is she wants to have. However, I'm thinking this $15,000 would have looked good on Rey's restitution. But you know, Brittany is not responsible for Rey's restitution. She did not do any crime. She should not have to pay not one damn dime. Rey gets a visit from his grandma, and let me tell you, Rey's grandma loves him so much. The relationship between him and his grandma, I just love it. They are the cutest. She brings him a picture of his mom, and we all know that his mom was killed when he was 11 years old, and his mom was beautiful. She really was. Rey says that they are going to leave a seat open at the wedding as if his mom was there, and you best believe she will be there in spirit, 100%. Rey tells his grandmother about the prenup, and his grandmother, she understood it. She said, you know, I can understand her parents being concerned. You know, that restitution is really high, and she agreed. Brittany didn't go to jail, so she shouldn't have to pay the restitution. And, you know, Brittany's also has assets that are family assets. Those are her family's assets. I don't blame Brittany for having a prenup. The one thing his grandmother said that I did not agree with, she made this comment that because Brittany asked him for a prenup, she must not be all in. No, ma'am. I cannot agree with that. This woman is protecting herself. She has agreed to marry you. She is there with you, but she is not here for you taking her family's assets at the end of this marriage or her being responsible for your debts. You know, I 1000% agree with Brittany and her family. A prenup is necessary. Anyway, you guys, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.